17-year-old accused of killing a medical student in a fatal crash in Melbourne last week has now been charged for breaching his bail conditions. The teenager was allegedly behind the wheel of a stolen car before hitting the driver in Burwood. He went missing last night before he was found and then arrested. He'll appear in court later today. A 45-year-old man will face court today accused of murdering a teacher and leaving her body inside a bin in Victoria. Workers at a waste facility in Melbourne's north found the body of 67-year-old Annette Brennan last week. Police believe she was put inside a green bin at Coolaroo that was emptied by garbage collectors. Homicide detectives arrested 45-year-old Stephen Fleming, who's known to the victim in Glenroy, on Monday morning. So with all of that said, the Allen government will sit for an emergency meeting to address the state's youth crime crisis today. Now, this is very much the Victorian version of what is a national problem, which we've covered at great length this year. Joining us live is Victoria's Shadow Police Minister, Brad Batten. It's good to see you, Brad. So this meeting today, it's an attempt to address widespread anger in the community over youth crime and bail laws. So what can or should be done as a result of this meeting?
Yeah, good morning. And actually, you said it perfect. This is a meeting to address the widespread anger, whereas what it should be doing is trying to address the issues we have in youth crime. We already know that the bail laws changed by the Allen Labor government to weaken the effect of bail laws here in Victoria has had a negative effect. And we saw that where Victoria Police work exceptionally hard to catch that young offender, obviously for the tragic accident that happened where a young man of 28-year-old was killed by a person who was driving a stolen vehicle, and enough evidence that he probably should have been remanded here in our state. What we've seen is the laws are in such a way that people can get bail so easily. It's happened in the past. Ash Gordon, earlier in the year in January, was killed by young offenders who were on bail, and that was in his own home. So the bail laws here in Victoria and the youth crime crisis is out of control. But what we've got is the Allen Labor government just yesterday came out saying that effectively we don't have an issue with youth crime crisis here in Victoria, yet they're having a talk fest with those people that changed these laws originally to make it easier for young people to get out.
Yeah, look, there's shades of... Sorry, Brad. Yes, there's shades of Queensland in all of this too. We've covered that at great length this year too, different state obviously. But what's not working in Victoria for those who might not be aware? And what would you do differently if you were in charge?
Yep, our priority has been continuously that we will reverse those changes to the bail law. Our priority is about community safety. The second part of this, which is probably the more important part, which doesn't get spoken about as much, is the government has cut funding from crime prevention. We want to make sure that crime prevention is the proactive way that we can work to make sure that we keep young people out of the prison system, that we give them the opportunities and the tools they need to either work, go into education, or go to the services they require. Right. And lastly, the Victoria Police are struggling. We know that they've got 1,000 vacancies across the state. We want to make sure those 1,000 vacancies are filled and the 43 police stations are open so they can be proactive to stop these crimes happening in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that's the bigger problem, isn't it, too? I mean, education campaign, it's all well and good, but crime is always going to be committed. But it's the police issue. It's the same in Queensland as well. There's just not enough.
That's correct. There's 1,000 vacancies here in Victoria. That's not including over 800 people who are off on PTSD leave because of stress, their attrition rate. The amount the government keeps saying they're increasing the number through the academy, the reality is they're putting through double squads in the academy, but it's not even covering those that are leaving. We've got under 5 years as an average of service. It used to be well and truly above 7 and 8 years of service. That's because the extra pressure the Victoria Police are put on and they're not getting the support from the government. So what would I do as a former police officer? If I had the opportunity Minister for Police, I'd back our Victoria Police, give them the resources they need and ensure we return the funding to crime prevention.
Could you increase their wages, Brad?
Sorry?
Could you increase their wages?
They've already gone through the stage with their EBA. They're voting on that right now. We know they deserve an honest day's pay for the work they do. It is a lot of pressure. Out of the academy now, I think they come out about $70,000 a year. We'd be happy to sit down with the Police Association and find the best way and the best model that encourages people to join the Victoria Police and stay.
Okay, that's Victoria's Shadow Police Minister, Brad Batten. Good to have you with us, Brad. Thank you.